We're going to start in Tinseltown. Now, Minnesota coming into this game shorthanded. We talked about that in previous editions of the show without Rudy Gobert and others. And the confidence, oh, my God. The media just handing the Lakers this game. All they had to do was show up and collect a win. Shaquille O'Neal indicated on the TNT pregame that he expected a 30-point Laker win over Minnesota. How did that work out? If you didn't watch the game, maybe not. It ended not that long ago. LeBron James, he did have 30 points. Anthony Davis had 24 points. And the Lakers, by the skin on their chinny chin, escape with just a 6-point win in overtime. They had to go to overtime. They had to go to overtime against the B squad of a D-level team. The Minnesota Timberwolves, wow. Wowzers. Lakers trailed at one point by as many as 15. They did not get the lead until late in the fourth quarter. It was finger-biting, marathon time in this game. But the Lakers will now advance as the number 7 seed, so that means it'll play the number 2 seed, the Grizzlies. More on that in a minute. So let us discuss the question. What are your takeaways from the Lakers barely beating a disheveled Timberwolves team? So I've got Better Business Bureau, Silver and Black, and barbecues galore. And we will tie all of these things together, and we are going to make some amazing nachos with that gooey stadium neon orange cheese all over. You got to eat it fast because they get soggy and then they're disgusting. So, listen, you ask my takeaway from the Laker-Wolves game, and that was one of the most pathetic displays of basketball that we have seen in recent years by both teams. And you needed that Benny Hill clown music in the background. And so the Lakers win, but not impressed. Not impressed. In fact, this is actually validating my longstanding opinion about how fraudulent this Laker team is. Bad team, man. Bad effing team. You got LeBron James, who ought to send a box of chocolates and a bouquet to Chris Finch, whoever that is, in the Minnesota front office. And I will guarantee you, if the Timberwolves had actually tried to win that game, meaning they had allowed Rudy Gobert to play, they win the game. Right? The game was right there. They needed one more guy. The one more guy should have been on the court, but wasn't because of some bull crap in the Minnesota front office. And the Timberwolves ran out of gas. They ran out of gas at the end, but it wasn't because the Lakers played great defense. It was just Minnesota missing shots that were there to be made. Self-inflicted wounds by the ragamuffins from Minnesota that helped the Lakers yet again. And breaking precedent, we talked about the precedent in the NBA that you can punch a teammate, not get suspended. The Golden State Warriors are the team that set that precedent with Draymond Green, who sucker punched Jordan Poole, didn't get suspended. And Rudy Gobert should not have been suspended. And so it's justice in the end that Minnesota lost this game. But if you think the Lakers are legit, you know what you are? You're a schmendrick is what you are, right? You're a fanboy. And don't be a fanboy. L.A. had every conceivable edge you could possibly want in this game. It was a room service blowout win, handcrafted, home court advantage, check. Minnesota playing like the old talk show host, the late Rush Limbaugh style. One arm tied behind their back, check. You had Gobert, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, wrongfully suspended, as we mentioned here, for taking a jab at teammate Kyle Anderson, so he was out. You also had a wing defender, Jaden McDaniels, who was knocked out by a wall that he punched, check on that. You had Karl Anthony Towns, who was in foul trouble, limiting his productivity in the second half. And on cue, Karl Anthony Towns, he was playing well, and then he realized, wait a minute, I'm Karl Anthony Towns. I can't finish like this. And so he got passive. He only attempted 2 shots. Two more shots than you did. 2 more shots than our caller Gunner from the Walmart in Minnesota tried in the fourth quarter and overtime. And yet, with all of those advantages, the Lakers, a team with the all-time leading scorer, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, Hall of Famer, needed bonus time to finally exterminate the Timberwolves. Wow. And If you bet on the Lakers, you lost the bet. If you bet on the spread, the Lakers were an 8 to 8.5 point favorite. They couldn't even cover the spread against a hodgepodge of Minnesota players. A hodgepodge. And as happens every single time we get to this point in the year, whether it's legit or not, we have several weeks of blowhards and gas bags, the usual dum-dums, who explain to you, this is a championship Laker team. They've got the championship pedigree. My fat ass, it's all nonsense. Someone contact the Better Business Bureau and file a complaint against the misleading advertising, the deceptive marketing practices. The Lakers are a team. They're a contender. They're a counterfeit contender is what they are. They needed a Houdini act from the Timberwolves to pull this one out. Choking Wolves. Anthony Edwards. Here's your moment to shine early in your career. Moment to shine. Go out there, put up a 40-point game. It's right there for you. Right there. Put up a big performance. And what does this guy do? He poops his pants. He played like an ant, and that's not a compliment. Played like your aunt, Aunt Betty. 3 of 17 from the floor, 0 of 9 on three-pointers and 4 turnovers, only 9 points. And as a team, Minnesota late in this game, and it wasn't because the Lakers played good defense. They didn't play good defense. It was Minnesota gagging. They did the Heimlich maneuver at the end of the game in the fourth quarter, 3 of 15 from the floor. That's 20%. They shot 3 of 15. For the final, including overtime, if my Maller math is correct, Minnesota was 5 of 23 to close out the game in the final 17 minutes. They shot 21.7%. Missing shots that were very makeable shots. They had 16 points over the final 17 minutes and still barely lost the game. They had 5 field goals and 9 turnovers the final 17 minutes of the game. All right, now, page 2. We got to address here one of what would have been the all-time great boners in basketball history. And what did you make of Anthony Davis's late foul on Mike Conley at the end of regulation? If you didn't see the game here, this gets lost in the shuffle because the Lakers ended up winning, although you really want to call them winners. They look like losers to me. But this gets lost in the shuffle, right? And not on this show. So there's 1.4 seconds left, and the Lakers had hit a three-point shot to take the lead. And so they're up by 3. Minnesota inbounding the ball in desperation mode, and Mike Conley gets the ball. Anthony Davis is in the corner right in front of the Lakers bench, and for reasons that only Anthony Davis knows, he decides then to foul Conley, who's shooting, for all intents and purposes, a Hail Mary. It's like roughing the passer on a 70-yard Hail Mary at the end of an NFL game. And that's exactly what happened here. And that pretty much sums up the life and times of Anthony Davis. That's why he's known as street clothes. Because when he does play, he's never that far away from a massive malfunction. I'm not talking about a wardrobe malfunction. And people continue to be hoodwinked, bamboozled, and hornswoggled by this cat. And that's part of the issue here. It's a silver and black special. Reminds me of that great quote from Coach Callahan back in the day. We got to be the dumbest team in America in terms of playing the game. It's not trigonometry for Anthony Davis. The unibrow will never have to worry about people accusing him of having a high basketball IQ. Yes, bonehead of boneheads there. And this overall performance was a demerit for Anthony Davis. Now, the box score readers and those that didn't watch the game was, he was fine. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. You're a dummy. You're a dum-dum. He was much more feline than canine. He was a feline. He was a nice pussycat. All right? Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs. And Anthony Davis, who has yet to win anything, nothing legitimate. It's all phony. This guy's got a little Mickey Mouse toy that he got at Disneyland in Florida, Disney World there. But no real basketball fans take that seriously. And you saw it again on display here against a second-rate Minnesota Timberwolves team. The Lakers are pretty much the same the Lakers are pretty much the same as a Minnesota team without their 3-time Defensive Player of the Year and Rudy Gobert. Holy crap. All right, last word here. So now looking ahead, who do you like? You got the Lakers matching up with the Grizzlies in the real playoffs, which will start this weekend. So the arrow on this one, rather obviously pointing towards barbecues galore. We're going to take some of that Memphis barbecue here on Beale Street. And as long as the Grizzlies can keep Ja Morant away from shotgun willies and away from pickup basketball games with teenagers and pretty much any other civilized human being, because Ja Morant is out there in loony land, Memphis has got home court. You have the pest Dylan Brooks, who will annoy and harass LeBron James as the instigator. You mix in a little Desmond Bane and those key jump shots. And then the Grizzlies will be without Steven Adams. He's not playing in the postseason, done for the year. That's a body blow. The other reality here, and while Memphis is the better team, they've got better players, they've got a better coach, better fan base, a real fan base in Memphis rather than these phony Hollywood losers in L.A. with the Lakers. So the Grizzlies have all that, but they will be handcuffed in one regard. They will have to overcome the inherent Laker bias in the NBA, which continues. Zebra bias there. Only willfully ignorant observers do not understand what's been going on here. We pointed out the toadies in the NBA media that are in the tank for big basketball. They do not like to point that stuff out because it makes the league look really bad. But the Lakers in reality stink. And without some kind of intervention from Big Brother, they will not beat the Memphis Grizzlies. In fact, they wouldn't even be in the play-in game without some intervention happening here. The numbers bear that out. You don't need to just look at the games or listen to them on the radio. You can just look at the overall flow of these games.